get it out the way. And these are the guys that won't be participating in practice. So Adrian Colbert's got a concussion. Eccles is on to his next progression with regards to the concussion. Jeff Smith, concussion. Tyler Croft has a back. Marcus Maye, ankle. Shep has a knee. And that's it.
So, Elijah, fully back?
Yeah.
That was Shepard? Was that the name?
He's got a knee. He should be good. It's just a lot of plays on Sunday.
When you said that about Eccles progressing, is there a chance he could play this weekend?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happened to Hamza?
Hamza, I don't have the specific details. Got injured, obviously, and it's a 3-week deal, and hopefully we'll get him back.
Robert, when you're facing the Falcons and you had an interview there for the head coaching job, do you have like more of a familiarity with their roster, with their, I know the coaching is different now, but I'm sure you did a lot of homework before those coaching interviews. Do you feel like you have a grasp of their personnel better than maybe, say, when you're playing the Patriots?
No, that's actually a really good question. When we get there was that, but they also ran a very similar system to us with Dan Quinn being over there. So there was always a lot of studying that went on. Same thing with Kyle had been there, so there was a lot of teach tapes that were pulled. So you just kind of studied them, even though you never played them. You studied them just to kind of pull some cool teach tapes. So there's familiarity there, and then obviously having Brick and Marquand and. There's a lot of familiarity there, but there are 2 new schemes or 1 new scheme actually, and then obviously Arthur is running a similar scheme. So it's there's a little bit, but it's still a different mindset, a different tempo. It's still going to be different.
What type of challenge does Matt Ryan present?
Veteran. He is he's been successful his entire career. I mean, he's one of the better quarterbacks in this league. He's obviously got tremendous arm talent. He's one of the bigger competitors. I was about to say something stupid, but he is a really, 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 really good competitor, obviously, and he's a dog, man. He's always fighting. If you have him mic'd up, I would bet he has more cuss words in the game than you guys could possibly imagine. But he's really, really, really talented.
Robert, what's your reaction to the Marcus Maye arrest?
Obviously, I had a really good conversation with Marcus. Obviously, he recognizes he made a mistake, and as far as details and all that, I'll keep it in house. But we support Marcus, and hopefully he can get through this.
Robert, did you know about Marcus's arrest before it was reported?
I'm not going to get in any details. Just we had a really good conversation. I'll just leave it at that, guys.
So, the conversation was this week?
Yeah, this week.
So is there a trust factor there? Obviously you didn't know about it. So, how do you feel about a player several months after the fact, not telling you about something that significant?
Well, first off, for me, it's all he without sin cast the first stone. I mean, it's we've all made mistakes, and he recognizes the mistake he made, and I judge Marcus for how he's been since I first met him, and that really wasn't until minicamp. And Marcus has been an outstanding teammate. He's been an outstanding individual. His teammates absolutely love him. He's from my understanding, hasn't had many issues as a young man, and this is something that he'll get through. So.
Did he come to you, or did you ask him to meet?
He came to me.
Coach, I know it's not the quarter pole of the season now, but after your first 4 games, what do you look at as the team's progress, obviously coming off your first win to get to this point?
I feel like we're getting better. Obviously, there's with comfort and scheme, you'll see us. Hopefully, you see us getting faster. And felt like in all 3 phases we were playing at another speed on Sunday, and it was and there's still so much to be had, but. We're taking steps. We're getting better and just getting more efficient in our techniques and understanding what's being asked of each individual player. And the more confidence each player gets in their technique and in their responsibility, the more they'll be able to unlock all their athleticism. And hopefully, as we continue to grow, as we get continuity, as we continue to rack up reps, we'll get faster and faster as the season goes.
And how about for you personally?
Me personally, I don't know. You know, it just I kind of go with the flow of the game, and you know, there's always a self-reflection and what can we do a little bit differently, and visiting with the coordinators. But obviously, there's always going to be learning experiences for me also. But I mean, but it's been good, I guess.
As expected so far?
Yeah.
In the first 4 games?
Obviously, you want to win all of them, but it's been as expected. You know, it's you know, we got a great group of young men. They're a pleasure to work with. They show up to work every single day, so they kind of make it easy.
Everybody, when they start a new job, stuff in the beginning that takes forever or is hard gets easier. What is easier now after 4 games for you? Like, I'm talking about in the game, like managing the game, than it was week 1.
Not being so bored, you know, or just kind of trying to film, you know, it's like being able to have interaction, you know, because now we're actually game planning. So I'm rather than just, you know, preseason, it's just call plays, and so you're just kind of sitting there twiddling your thumbs. And but at least now there's a lot more game planning involved, and so you're it's easier to have conversations and just try to help Brick stay on course if he needs to, even though him and his staff are doing a phenomenal job. But just being a sounding board for the coordinators, and but that would be about it.
Do you miss calling plays or calling the defense?
I don't know if I miss it. I don't know if the word "miss" is the. I mean, it's obviously calling plays and all that. I still, there's still an engagement, obviously, but yeah, I mean, calling plays and being part of that and the whole process. It's that part's always fun. But like I said, Brick is. He's through 4 weeks. Him and the staff and those players, they've been knocking that out the park. So.
Robert, it sounds like we're going to talk to Denzel later today. That's the plan, at least. Curious, you know, we've asked you a lot about him for the last 2 months. How has he kind of handled his situation of not being on the diet? I imagine he's frustrated as a player not playing, but how has he handled it behind the scenes?
Yeah, and I would be upset if he wasn't frustrated, you know. But he is a competitive young man. He's been fantastic throughout this whole process, and he's been deliberate in practice. He's been working his tail off, and I think everyone kind of saw it in the game. Keelan had explosive plays. Jamison had critical third down conversions, a touchdown, and a big explosive play. Barrios is also involved in the kick return game, and then you have obviously Corey Davis. So you know, we got a really good room, you know, and it's credit to Joe and his staff and what they've been able to build. But so this isn't an indictment on Denzel. It's just that there's guys right now who have been available, where, you know, everyone knows what happened to him during OTAs and all that. So he's catching up, and he earned the right to be active, and he ended up getting, I forget his play count. I'm sure you guys have it, but he's still able to get out there. But you guys see the other 5, you know, the same thing. First half doesn't flow the way you want it to go, and then the second half, where, you know, offense got into a groove, and those guys were all making plays. So it's more of a credit to the room itself than it is an indictment on Denzel. So
You mentioned how he is, you know, kind of earned the right to be active. With Elijah coming back this week, Jeff is eventually going to get healthy. You've highlighted his special teams ability. Will he remain active, or is this something where, because these guys are now healthy, he's probably going to be out again?
So that goes back to I'll never make a promise I can't keep, you know. But if he's putting in the work the way he is, and he should be active. You know, but it's not just the receiver room that he's competing against. There's the linebackers, the safeties, the corners, you know, trying to get people involved, and making sure that we're good at all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. So, but yeah, he's been earning that right, and so hopefully it continues.
Regarding the logistics of travel to London, with the time change, have you guys implemented any specific plan or suggestions for the players to get acclimated this week?
Yeah, the performance staff has been doing a really nice job with it. I'm not going to get into our plan, but we really love what the performance staff has been able to put together, and now it's just a matter of executing it over the next few days and making sure that we're ready to roll on Sunday.
You mentioned that you know, the first half things were rolling kind of slow. Obviously, you guys been to 27 points, but throughout the year, the first half has become a little bit of a drag. So what do you guys have to do to jumpstart that against the Falcons?
For sure, there's something there. Obviously, but the one thing that we've been noticing is that our offense has been putting together drives in the first half. It's just a matter of finishing. put together a really nice drive against Denver, and we had a chance to finish it. Didn't work out the way we wanted on the Michael Carter and the angle route to Michael Carter. That could have got us an explosive in some points. But yet on Sunday we finished the drive, and when we finished that drive, you could just feel the entire sideline just, all right, let's go. Went in the locker room at 9-7, and then from there it's just, when you have a young group and they get a little bit of success early, and that success can snowball, and these guys become invincible, and I felt like it kind of showed, and it's just a matter of just getting some early success and trying to put them in position to make plays and see where it goes from there.
Why was it important for you to add Sheldon Rankins to your D line, and what has he done for that group?
Man, he, so Joe and I are like, Joe, if it was up to him, he'd have 53 offensive linemen on the team. If it was up to me, we'd have 53 D linemen. It's a joke we have with one another. But Sheldon, just have so much respect for his game, and he was available. Didn't think he was going to be early in free agency, and it got a little bit later, and there was an opportunity, and I was like, man, if you want to. And it was just a perfect match in terms of his style of play with the way we ask him to play. It's just a perfect match for the way his game is made, and he's showing it. Like you could already see in last year that he was getting back to what he was when he was drafted in his second year when he was so productive, and then injuries obviously set him back. But when you talk to people around the league, especially in that building, he is an unbelievable leader. He's got tremendous work ethic. The way he takes care of his body, he's meticulous in everything he does, and I'm just really excited for him and the success he's been having so far.
Robert, you've had rotations at positions that are a little unusual to have rotations at with corner and safety. Are you comfortable with that? I imagine that's unusual in your career.
With regards to people getting hurt and
Not the people get hurt. The rotations when they're healthy, like Eccles and Guidry were kind of splitting reps. Like
Oh.
The first few games, Eccles got hurt. Then this week you had like a cast of Falcons and safety. It felt like with Ashton and Neesman getting in the mix with Colbert and Wilson. Like that's a little unusual. It's not like the D line where you're used to.
for sure, you especially with us, we kind of want guys to roll. But like this week was more of a product of we wanted to get Ashton going, but we couldn't get him the amount of reps that we would like to get him because he hadn't played. So just to get him a couple of shots so he can get. Otherwise, he's never going to be ready, right? And as far as Guidry and Eccles, they've been playing such good ball. Just feel like they just both deserve to be on the football field. And then, we've been able to get some dime reps out there because Guidry's been such an unbelievable asset. I mean, you think about Guidry. I'm going to pump him up for a second because I don't think he gets enough credit. And go back to Joe finding an undrafted free agent who's come in here. And you think about what he played. He played corner, nickel, and dime in one game last week, which is not easy. He's been an absolute stud, and we're very fortunate to have him. So he makes a lot of that possible because of his willingness to do extra, and so he's been fantastic.
Is the entire family headed to London?
No, my wife is there. She's already there, but no, the family's got too much school.
I know you said you don't want to reveal your plan for the London thing, but just I was wondering if you could expand a little bit on. You said that you did it a bunch of different ways in Jacksonville, leaving early in the week, leaving later in the week. Why later? Why did you settle on later in the week?
So when we were, I'll just give you the background on Jacksonville, which is fine, and I think the whole league is kind of settled in using Jacksonville as the example. The very first year of Gus Bradley's tenure, they left. I wasn't there yet, but they left on the Monday following the Sunday game. They played at home. They left on Monday and did their thing. My first year, we left immediately after we had a road game in Cincinnati, and we traveled out, which was a miserable week. It's a time for a coach anyway. And we lost. And then the very next year we did Thursday, and that, for me at least, that was and just talking to players, that was the best they felt on a Sunday. And then we won, and then we did it again and won again, and it's so it's just there's a really cool formula there with regards to leaving on Thursday night, and then on top of it with the regimen that's going to be put in place, and I think our performance staff, I feel like we've got a really, really good plan that could be even better. So we'll see how it works.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, thanks, guys.
3:15, is that the due?